Hi, my name is Michaela Jones. In this video, we are going to talk about emotions and how we assign them to the body and how they stick to different bodies. Emotions can be described as feelings of bodily change or judgments of these changes. So emotions are things that you feel inside of you and you are aware that they're happening. You're conscious of it. Oftentimes, we tend to connect emotions to objects or bodies or things. And so we associate emotions with these things. When we see them, we feel these emotions. After a word is used so many times to describe one thing, that emotion tends to stick to that object. So it becomes sticky. So when you see it, you're always going to feel that. Disgust is a feeling that is in response to something. So it's an emotion you have in reaction to something. It's not just an emotion by itself for no reason. And it's often an emotion that we tend to attach to bodies that don't fit conventional standards of beauty or aren't considered normal. So since we attach emotions to bodies, disgust is one emotion that we tend to attach and we feel it very intensely. So when you see something that disgusts you, you feel really grossed out. And in the US, we tend to attach disgust to fat people because it is our society's ideal to be thin and be in good shape, have muscles. So when you see someone that doesn't fit that ideal and is larger, we tend to not know how to take it. We tend to be grossed out by it. And we see that in our video in class in Praise of Fat by James Lee. He has an attractive male model kissing and caressing an overweight model, and both of them are naked. So you see all of their body. And the comments to that, there are a couple that are positive and praise the video, but most of them are very negative, and they're basically calling the woman disgusting because she's fat. So they're taking her appearance and her body and saying that it's disgusting. Society also feels disgust when they see trans people. But I think that's because people don't know how to classify trans people. And when we don't know how to classify people, we often get uncomfortable and it leads us to feel scared. And in Unit 1, we had a video, I think the man's name was Alok. It was a Get Real video. And he says that when people don't know how to categorize things, we get scared and we feel fear. And that's exactly it. Like, we don't know how to categorize trans people. So we turn it into disgust and it turns into fear and hatred. And we see so many examples of this throughout our units. There was a Locks video, even Tyler Ford wrote about it in his post, My Life Without Gender. They discuss the comments and the feelings that they get from people commenting on their outfit choices, on what they do, things like that. And we see it in our video from Unit 4, American Reflex, which is 14 minutes of watching a trans woman get harassed on the street. And it makes you feel so angry that people feel such disgust. But society creates order. Society likes things to be in order and they like things to be the same. So when we encounter something that's different, we don't know how to take it and we react with disgust and hatred. Disgust also shows how we create power relationships using emotions. So we use emotions in order to show power above a person or show who's below a person. So with the trans people and disgust, the person who feels the disgust places themselves above the disgusting. So oftentimes when people see a trans person, they feel like they're better than them because they feel like that person is disgusting. They don't know what they're doing. They think that they're better than the other person. So it shows how you can create power relationships using emotions. And oftentimes, disgust also can be transferred. So whoever touches the thing that is disgusting then becomes disgusting themselves. So it creates this relationship where people feel that they're better than them and they don't want to get too close because they might catch whatever it is and they might somehow become disgusting themselves. So trans people and trans issues are an example of how we politicize the body, how we take a body, bring it into public light, make it a public matter, and try to control it. So we see this an example in maybe getting surgery to change your body parts to become more comfortable in your body. You have to go through multiple therapists, get notes from multiple doctors. You have to go through so many hoops to change yourself in a way that you wouldn't normally have to change for maybe like surgery on your nose or any other type of surgery. So you really have to prove who you are in that sense, where you're always trying to prove who you are and people are trying to control you and they're trying to make it a political matter, maybe try to control your body in a way that you don't want them to. Restrooms are also a huge politicized issue for trans people because there's often not a place for them to go. Restrooms are supposed to be a safe place, but oftentimes trans people are denied access, they're verbally assaulted, physically assaulted, and that's not good for a person to not have to go to the bathroom. That causes UTIs, other bladder problems. It's just not good for people. And we saw so many examples of this throughout our lectures. And Unit 1, there was an article by Tyler Ford, and he even stated how he felt that going to the bathroom was a stressful situation. And in Unit 4, we saw articles from the New York Times, The Cut, Everyday Feminism. Everyday Feminism actually even had an article, had a study done by the Williams Institute in 2013 that stated that 68% of trans people experienced verbal harassment in the bathroom, 18% were denied access to the restroom, and 9% were physically assaulted. So it's not something that just happens every once in a while. Like, a lot of people go through this and a lot of people experience it. So it's something that needs to be spread. So it's politicizing the issues. It's bringing this into light that we need to create gender-neutral bathrooms or just accept people for whatever bathroom they want to go into. And there was an article, there's a clip from the show Transparent in our Unit 4 as well. And that clip made me really upset, actually. It was actually an acting out a trans woman going into the restroom and another woman like yelling at her, calling her disgusting, telling her she needed to get out, telling her she was a perv for going to the bathroom. And that just hurt me so much to actually see somebody going through it. And it just shows you, though, that it's not just an every once in a while situation. Like, it's something someone in the world is going through all the time. And so to politicize these issues is actually hopefully helping it and making it better, making it not such an issue so people can use the restroom and do what they need to do. So another example of a politicized issue for bodies in general, for women's bodies particularly, is breastfeeding. Because I feel like I've been seeing a lot of things lately about women breastfeeding in public, about it being disgusting, repulsive, people telling them to put it away, getting kicked out of restaurants or stores. But to me, I don't see the issue with this. Breastfeeding is the most natural way to feed your child, and in most cases, the best way to feed your child. And it's a thing that provides all of us life. Then how can you label it as disgusting and label a woman as in the wrong for feeding her child the best that she can? I just think it's a really weird topic, and that has been such a big issue, and it's coming in light now, and it's still, I've been seeing people on both sides though about saying it's gross, saying it's okay, but I don't see an issue when it's a body, like all you're doing is feeding a child, and people are making such an issue out of that, and sexualizing it so much to the point that it's not okay to do in public. You have to hide to feed your child, and it's almost like you have to be ashamed to feed your child, which shouldn't be the case at all. So that's another example of an issue in the media of politicizing bodies and making a body bad bringing it into like trying to control it, making it seem bad when it's really, I don't think they're really issues at all. And that's all I have to say about how we apply emotions to bodies and how we politicize bodies. Thank you.